the overview of Srimad Bhagavatam, and then how Srimad Bhagavatam is Lord Krishna himself. And after that, summary of Srimad Bhagavatam just in 1 hour. First canto, second canto, third canto, fourth canto, fifth canto, sixth canto, and summary of first canto to sixth canto. After that, seventh canto, eighth canto, all heard, completed. And now we will be hearing about the ninth canto. So ninth canto. Ninth canto. What is ninth canto? The 10 subject matters of Srimad Bhagavatam. Atra sargo visargascha sthanam poshanamutaya manvantara ishanukada nirodho muktirashraya. Sarga, visarga, sarga in the third canto, little bit in the second canto. Visarga, third canto, fourth canto, fifth canto. Sarga, visarga, atra sargo visargascha. Sthanam, fifth canto, second half. Poshanam, Ajamila, sixth canto. Harinama, Poshana, to Ajamila, sixth canto. Utaya, seventh canto. Uti of Prahlad Maharaja and Hiranyakashipu. Manvantara, just completed that, right? Eighth canto. Ishanukatha, so ninth canto is Ishanukatha. Nirodho Muktir Ashraya. Nirodha is 11th canto, 12th canto. Mukti is 11th canto. Ashraya is 10th canto. So today, 9th canto is Ishanukatha. So we are going to hear about Ishanukatha. 9th canto. Why is it called Ishanukatha? Isha, Supreme Personality of Godhead, came in the Sun dynasty and Moon dynasty. Right? Isha Anukada. So the Lord and Anukada. Anu is followers of the Lord, the devotees. So that chapter that tells us the Lord and his pastimes with the devotees, Isha Anukada, 9th canto, especially because the Sun dynasty and Moon dynasty are described here. In Sun dynasty, that's Ramachandra, Lord Ramachandra. Moon dynasty, Lord Krishna Chandra. So Lord Ram and Lord Krishna, their incarnations are described here. Ishanukada in the 9th canto. Okay. So in the 9th canto, as we have heard, it's more about the Sun dynasty and Moon dynasty. What we will hear today is a quick overview of the Sun dynasty. Okay. We'll not touch the Moon dynasty today, because just by hearing the names only it's going to take some time. So the Moon dynasty, we will leave it to whenever it comes. But now the focus will be on Sun dynasty. Okay. So we will be hearing an overview of all the kings in Sun dynasty, a little bit about each king in Sun dynasty. And then in detail about our glorious Ambarisha Maharaj. That we are going to hear today. Okay. So that's the plan for today. And now the connection. How did the 8th canto come to the 9th canto? The 8th canto at the very end, Manvantara, Sukadeva Goswami has described about Maharaja Satyavrata, how he became Manu in the next Manvantara. That's why Parikshit Maharaj has asked about this. So this Satyavrata, you said he has become Manu next in the next Manvantara, right? So would you please explain about that? About that Manu, because he became Vaivashvata Manu, right? So this Satyavrata was born as Shraddha Deva. He's the son of Vivashwan. So this Shraddha Deva is called Vaivashvata Manu. So that's why Sukadeva Goswami, Parikshit Maharaj was asking, would you please tell me about the Vaivashvata Manu and his dynasty? That's how 8th canto brings us to the 9th canto. And here, Vaivashvata Manu. Yeah. Vaivashvata Manu, he has one son. It's an interesting story here. Initially, he is son. Actually, initially, there was femaleness. Her name was Ila. And later, she was turned to male, Sudyumna. So, initially, it's about Sudyumna / Ila. We will know more about. Interesting. So, that's the first progeny. Sudyumna. We will hear a little bit about that. After that Sudyumna, then Vaivashvata Manu will end up, he will again pray to Lord Vishnu and ends up getting 10 more sons. Ikshvaku and 9 more. Okay. So this is the Sun dynasty. And we will see in the slides. But once we get into the slides, so you're not lost, and that's why I'm giving you a little heads up. First would be Sudyumna, and after that would be these 10 sons. Okay, so what we will do is, we will hear a little bit about each of these kings and quickly come to Amrish Maharaj. Yeah, I think that's what we will do. That way you will feel complete, like you have heard a little bit about everybody, and just a little bit, so we will be able to release Amrish Maharaj's Katha. Okay, so now I'm going to bring that PowerPoint now. So that's 9th canto. So those are the questions Parikshit Maharaj has asked. It's very likely that you might get lost in the slides. There are so many. So I'll quickly bring you to the important ones, and later on, at the end, we can just scroll through. So remember, this is where we are now. Where is Vaivashvata Manu? He is the son of Vivashwan. Vivashwan is the son of Kashyapa. Kashyapa is the son of Marichi. Marichi is son of Brahma. Brahma is born from Supreme Lord. So here we are, Vivashwan and Vaivashvata Manu. Vaivashvata Manu gets married to Shraddha. Okay, and their union results in, I'll tell you the story here. What happens is, so here, Vaivashvata Manu requests sage Vashishta to please see that he gets a son, so he can give his kingdom to the son and he can go for the Vanaprastha. Vashishta says, okay, I will have the priest in your kingdom do the yajna. And then they does the yajna. But instead of a son, a daughter was born to Shraddha, the wife of Vivashwan. So Vivashwan was surprised. And he said, how come these mantras went wrong? They gave a different result. We were looking for the son. So what do you think might have gone wrong? So it wasn't so gentle actually. Vaivashvata Manu was really looking for a son, because it's a matter of kingdom and dynasty, and he was upset there was no son. I mean, daughter is good, welcome daughter, but he was looking for son because the kingdom needs to be ruled. So he goes and talks to Vasishta Muni. Yeah. He says, you are such austere brahmanas. How can your mantras go wrong? And why is this result opposite? Can you please look into it and do something about this? Then Vasishta, he closes his eyes and then meditates, and then he finds out what happened. What happened was the wife of Vaivashvata, Vivashwan, she wanted a daughter. So she went to the head priest and then requested that he utter the mantra so she can have a daughter. So that's what happened without Vaivashvata Manu's knowledge. So Vashishta Muni says that's the reason, and that's why you ended up getting a daughter. But since you are in need of a son to rule this kingdom, I will personally pray Lord Vishnu so you can have a son. Then Vasishta, he prays Lord Vishnu, and this daughter Ila is changed to Sudyumna. First time in Bhagavatam, right? So Ila becomes Sudyumna. And then Sudyumna, he starts ruling the kingdom. And then what happens is, one day, the Sudyumna goes to Sukumara forest. And they are in Ilavrita Varsha. And those are the forests of Lord Shiva and Mother Parvati. And there, whoever goes to Sukumara forest, they become females. That's the potency of that land there. Lord Shiva once benedicted Parvati Devi that anybody who comes into that Sukumara forest will turn into females. It's because Parvati Devi's, it's more like a Parvati Devi's inner chambers. So that's why no males are allowed there. And that's why even if accidentally any males enter, then all of them, they become females. So this Sudyumna, he happens to go to Sukumara and becomes a female again. And he actually goes with his big entourage from his kingdom, and all of them become female. Their horses also became female horses because of the potency of the Sukumara forest of Mother Parvati and Lord Shiva. So then what happens is Sudyumna again becomes Ila, right? So Buddha is the son of Soma, moon god. Yeah. So Buddha gets attracted to Ila, and their combination results in Pururava. That's the point we are trying to get to. Because it's Pururava. That's the start of the moon dynasty. That's the point we need from here. The rest of it is more like a story. More like a story, but an interesting story, right? Does this really happen? Well, if a spiritual body can be grown and can be formed with spiritual mantras, what is the amazement and what is the difficulty for the material mantras to change the anatomy? They're, after all, Panchabhutas. And those mantras, those rishis, they have complete control over the Panchabhutas. Those are material mantras. So that's not an amazing thing. In this day and age, with this science, well, they may be able to understand or agree or comprehend or not, but that's certainly a possibility with the power of mantras. Mantras can act materially and spiritually. Spiritual mantras are giving spiritual bodies. Material mantras can change the material bodies. So for the point for us here is Pururava. Pururava, who is the son of Ila and Buddha, is the start of moon dynasty. Okay, that's about Sudyumna. Next, you see here 10 sons of. So the first son was Sudyumna. We already heard a little bit about Sudyumna. And the other 10 are, these are the names. I'm not reading them all. We'll hear one after the other as we go by. Ikshvaku, yes, a prominent king. Nriga, Sharyati. Prashadra, Nabhaga. These are the kings that we are going to hear a little bit. Dishta, Drishta, Karushaka, and Narishyanta. They are sons and they have their own descendants. But our focus here is, see Nabhaga here? Nabhaga, he has a son named Nabhaga. Nabhaga's son is Ambarisha. Okay, so this Nabhaga is the son, one of the 10 sons of Vivashwatamanu. Here comes Ambarisha. And a quick word about Kavi. He, after his birth, his focus was only to meditate upon Paramatma, and he becomes an enlightened person. Straight, nothing in between. Sharyati here, he has a daughter named Sukanya. Chavana Muni, we have heard that, right? That story is going to come here. That is related to Sharyati. This is all we need to know. And now you will not get lost. This is all about Sudyumna. Remember, we heard about Buddha and Ila. Pururava is the start of the Moon dynasty. A quick information is, after Pururava is born, again, Ila comes back to his kingdom and prays again. Then Vasishta, he prays Lord Shiva again, that Ila is supposed to rule the kingdom, so can you turn him to male back again? So Lord Shiva turns her back to male, but 1 month male and 1 month female. That's how he rules the kingdom, Sudyumna. And after some time, he takes the Vanaprastha. But the point that we needed from Sudyumna's story is Pururava came out, and that's where the Moon dynasty starts. These are the other sons of Sudyumna. Okay, good. This is a good one for us. See, we talked about this, all these sons. Kavi, clear. He became a Paramahamsa. And now we will know about this person, Prashadra. Prashadra, he was a son of Vivashwatamanu. He was taking care of the cows. One night, it was very dark, and one of the cows screamed loudly as if a tiger was attacking. A tiger did attack. So in that night, Prashadra shot a sword, actually. He used the sword and then killed the tiger. And then he went back to sleep. And next day morning, he saw that he did not kill the tiger, but he killed a cow accidentally. The tiger's ear got hurt, and the tiger ran away from the place. So accidentally, like that, he killed the cow. Vasishta became angry. You killer of a cow. And then Vasishta cursed Prashadra. Okay, he said, since you killed the cow, in the next life you are going to become a Shudra. Since you have killed the cow, he gives the curse. But Prashadra, with such determination, he takes a bhakti yoga and he starts meditating on Paramatma, that he goes to spiritual world. He did not even have the next birth. What to speak of becoming a Shudra? So this is one thing from the life of Prashadra, that there can be curses or anything that can happen on a material level, right? There can be curses happening like this in this case of Vasishta, and there the anatomy can be just flipped over in the case of Sudyumna. These things can happen materially, but if somebody takes up bhakti yoga and is determined to get a spiritual body to the spiritual realm, nobody can stop them. So bhakti yoga changes the destiny. That's what happened to Prashadra. He was supposed to have next birth and a Sudra in the next birth, according to the Jyotishya, according to Vasishta, but that didn't happen. That's the power of bhakti yoga. Not just in the case of Prashadra, dear devotees, you might have heard that many devotees in the contemporary world, in the contemporary times too, who had different. Their Jyotisha was different before they started bhakti. But after starting bhakti, it's completely changed. There's a disciple of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura who was supposed to leave his body at the age of 25 years or something like that. But 1 or 2 years before that, he came and took shelter of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura. And he just not leave the body. He was the longest lived disciple of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura. So his Jyotisha was that his life would end when he was at that age, 24, 25. But destiny changed. Whoever takes the spiritual process, because spiritual process is beyond the material elements, beyond the time too. That's the power of the Bhakti Yoga, spiritual process. So that's about Prashadra. Okay. So we have heard about Prashadra, we have heard about Kavi, and we'll come to Navaga soon. Now we will hear about a little bit about Shariyati. Okay. Is that, yeah. Shariyati, all this covered now. Okay. Yeah, Shariyati. Shariyati has a daughter named Sukanya. One day, what happened is Shariyati with her daughter Sukanya, and of course Sukanya with her friends. All of them, they came to this forest and they came to this ashrama. And this ashrama was belongs to Chavana Muni. So when Sukanya and her friends were going around, they were going around, yeah. And meanwhile, the Shariyati's army, all of his soldiers who entered into this premises of Chavana Muni, they couldn't pass the stool and urine. Their bladder and ball got blocked all of a sudden for all of them. This 9th canto seems to be very interesting, right? In Bhagavata Pravaha, until now, the flow was different. And from now on, different kind of stories, but they did happen. And of course, we have something to take away each week in each episode, so we are good. But yeah, so all these soldiers' bladder and ball was blocked. And Shariyati was wondering, what happened? Is there something that somebody has done? This is Chavana Muni's ashrama, and did somebody do something that might have resulted in this? Then Sukanya comes and she says, "Oh, Father, I did not realize that I was committing a mistake. But what I did was, there were two glowing objects in a ant hill, in an earthworm, in an earthworm hole. So I pierced those two glowing objects." And then Shariyati, he is terrified with that, because they know that Chavana Muni is an old, irritable sage and he can curse very easily. So Shariyati goes to that earthworm hole where she pierced those. And then he prays. He tried to appease Chavana Muni. Chavana Muni, he says back, "Okay, is your daughter Sukanya married?" That's Chavana Muni's question. Old, debilitated, deceased person. That's the question. And then King understood. Okay, he wants to get married to Sukanya. So King understands that, and even before he curses, Chavana Muni curses Sukanya, then Shariyati says, "Oh yes, sure, Sukanya, yes, she can be your wife. I'm giving her to you in marriage." So that's how Sukanya gets married to Chavana Muni. Sukanya is a young girl. Chavana Muni is very old, deceased, debilitated. But Sukanya is a chaste wife. This is one thing very we hear again and again in our Vedic times. The chastity, the power of chastity is pretty big. We have heard about Sati, Anasuya, all of them, right? So Sukanya is a very chaste lady, chaste wife. So she was serving Chavanamuni in all respects. And one day Chavanamuni thought, oh, it would be nice if I can get some youth and strength in my body. So Ashwini Kumaras come to his ashrama one day. Probably that is an entertainment spot or what? Everybody's coming to Chavanamuni's ashrama. So Ashwini Kumaras, they come also one time. Then Chavanamuni asks, can you give me some somarasa? No, I will give you some somarasa. Can you see that I have some youth and strength in my body? Can you give me that? So Ashwini Kumaras, though they are in heavenly planets, they are physicians in the heavenly planets. But since they are not sages and do not belong to that category, they did not get somarasa until then. Yeah, up until then. But Chavanamuni said, I will give you somarasa. Can you give me the youth? Give me some medicine. Give me the youth. These two Ashwini Kumaras, they take Chavanamuni and they dip him in a pond nearby and then bring him out and he becomes youthful. So Sukanya could not recognize all this. She was looking for her old, debilitated husband. But then Ashwini Kumaras, they were impressed with the chastity of Sukanya. Old, debilitated or not, youth or not, I am chaste to my husband. That's what Sukanya's chastity is. So Ashwini Kumaras, they were impressed with the chastity of Sukanya. And then says, yeah, this is your husband, Chavanamuni. So that's the story of Sukanya and Chavanamuni. Here, dear devotees, the chastity of Sukanya. And remember, if we remember Lord Kapila, right? Mother Devahuti and Kardamamuni, they're also very, very often the chastity of a wife is compared to the chastity of a disciple. The faithfulness of a disciple and the mamata of a disciple to Sri Guru. Very often this is compared like that, even in the case of Mother Devahuti and Kardamamuni too. Because there is a lot of strength there, in that kind of relationship, being faithful and serving the spiritual master. There is a lot of spiritual strength that comes from there. Yeah, but here it's Sukanya. Her chastity is to her husband. So, and then Sharyati, right? So he comes back after some time and he looks around and he sees this Sukanya is somebody is with a young man. So he starts chastising her. And then Sukanya says, oh, no, father. This is your son-in-law, the same son-in-law, now young Chavanamuni. Okay, good. And this Sharyati, the descendant of the Sharyati is, why are we coming to this story? We are touching this, just a little point, right? Sukanya and Chavanamuni, we have heard that. Now Sharyati, descendant of Sharyati is Revata and Kukudmi. So Kukudmi belongs to this dynasty. Why are we talking about Revata and Kukudmi? Because Kukudmi had a daughter, Revati. So he wanted to look for a bridegroom for her. Then he did not find anybody in the Bhuloka, so he goes to Brahmaloka. Kukudmi, Brahmaloka, takes his daughter and goes to Brahmaloka because he wants to ask Lord Brahma who is a suitable husband for his daughter. Dear devotees, from Bhuloka to Brahmaloka. He goes there and Brahma, he's in a little bit of entertainment. He was singing to the music of Gandharvas. So he stood there for some time, Kakudmi and his daughter. And after the entertainment is over, then Brahma looked at Kakudmi and then said, yes, please tell me the reason that you are here. Kakudmi goes, here is my daughter, Revati. Yeah, I'm actually looking for a good son-in-law, a good husband for her. Then Brahma laughs. He says, you are in Brahmaloka now. And you may think it was just a few minutes now that has passed by. But there in the Bhuloka, the Manvantaras have changed. None of your relatives or descendants, nobody are there on the earth. But Dwapar Yuga has come. He came in Satya Yuga. Now the Dwapar Yuga has come. Many Mahayugas have passed. Now there is a Dwapar Yuga going on currently on the earth, and Lord Balaram is there. So your daughter Revati is a good fit for Lord Balaram. So you can go down and then give your daughter in marriage to Lord Balaram. So Kakudmi comes down and Revati comes down. They are huge, big, because they're from Satya Yuga. Balaram is in Dwapar Yuga, so he's not that big. So what Balaram does is, he presses on the big toe of Revati and she becomes to his size. And that's how Balaram gets married to Revati. This is in regards to Sharyati, Revata, Kukudmi. Okay. Right. We're done with Sharyati also. All of them done a little bit. Yes. Can't wait to get to Nabhaga and Ambarisha. That's where we are going now. This is all discussed. This is all heard. Good, good, good. Yes. Nabhaga. This is the real story. This part, dear devotees, Ambarisha Katha, in the whole 9th canto, actually, I think this is the crown of the 9th canto. Yes, Lord Rama's pastimes are coming. They are briefly described in the 9th canto. But the Lord's, how much the Lord is in love with the devotees and how much the devotees are in love with the Lord is so beautifully said here in the Ambarisha Charita. This very clearly shines as a jewel in the 9th canto, and you will see that. So we know Nabhaga is one of the son of Ikshvaku, and his son is Nabhaga. If you notice this, father is Nabhaga, this is Nabhaga. A son, Vasudeva, Vasudeva. And for our Srila Prabhupada also, his Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakura, right? So in Srila Prabhupada Pranam Mantra, Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswata Deve. Saraswata, not Saraswata Devi. Saraswata, the son, the follower gets that, the long one. Right? So Nabhaga's son is Nabhaga. Nabhaga's son is Ambarisha. A little bit about Nabhaga. He is also a glorious king. See, Nabhaga has 3 sons. Nabhaga, and there are 2 other sons. What happens is, when Nabhaga goes for studies to Gurukul, to the forest, the other 2 sons, they divide all the wealth of father. And when Nabhaga comes back and asks for his share, these 2 sons, the other 2 sons say, oh yeah, you have the father as your share. This Nabhaga is so innocent. You have father as your share means they took all the property and Nabhaga has to take care of his father. So Nabhaga, he goes to his father and says, Father, this is what they said, that you are my property. Then the father says, oh, my dear son, you are innocent. They're cheating you. They didn't give you any wealth. What you can do is, you go to this yajna that happens, and after 6 or 7 days of yajna, all the wealth that was utilized to do that yajna, they are just left like that, and the sages go away. So you get all that wealth, taking the permission of sages. So you please get some wealth, at least in that way. In that way, Nabhaga sends Nabhaga to that place. So there at the sacrifice, Nabhaga, he gets the wealth on the 7th day of the sacrifice. He takes a permission from the sages and gets wealth. But just at that time, a person, an old elderly person comes there and says, no, this is my wealth. Then that's Lord Shiva coming in that form. So Nabhaga goes back to his father and says, Father, you said you go get the wealth, but here is this person claiming that that is his wealth. Then the father says, yeah, of course, yeah, I told you, but yes, that's Lord Shiva's wealth. You have to give him back. Then, very innocently, no resistance, Nabhaga gives back all the wealth to Lord Shiva. Oh, so sorry, Lord Shiva, I didn't know that is your wealth. You may please take it back. Lord Shiva is impressed with this character. That's one thing about Nabhaga. His innocence and his simplicity. That's what Lord Shiva is impressed. And he gives all the riches, and he also imparts Vedic knowledge. So Nabhaga is also glorious. The glorious son of Nabhaga is this glorious Ambarish Maharaja. And this Ambarish Maharaj, we are going to see what his bhakti is. And Durvasa Muni and Ambarish Maharaj interaction, dear devotees. It's more like the movie starting now with this slide, Ambarish Maharaj. So, see, Ambarish Maharaj, very clearly when we look for a king, we look for a throne and we look for a king on the throne. But here, look at this one here. Where is Ambarish Maharaj? Where is the throne and who is there? Ambarish Maharaj is here, down here. And this is his altar there in his palace. So Ambarish Maharaj Bhakti, how is it? And the interaction between Durvasa Muni and Ambarish Maharaj, how contrasting is that, both of them. Third one is Durvasa Muni running around, chased by Sudarshana Chakra, and comes to Lord Vishnu. Fourth one is Lord Vishnu speaks these nectarian words. Dear devotees, we are also included in Lord Vishnu's, our Lord's words. Okay, that's beautiful. Yeah, so these are the things we are going to hear now. What is the bhakti of Ambarish Maharaj? How is this related to us? Yeah. Maharaja Ambarisha. This is a favorite verse for Srila Prabhupada. Anywhere where Prabhupada says about mind control, he goes, Savai mana Krishna padaravindayo. That's it. Srila Prabhupada. And that verse is coming from here, Ambarish Maharaj. Savai mana Krishna padaravindayo vachamsi vaikunta gunanu varnane karo harir mandira majjanadishu shrutim chakarachyuta satkadhodaye Mukunda lingalaya darshani drishau tadpritya gatra sparshe anga sangamam Granam cha tatpad saroja saurabhe Shrimat tulasya rasanam tadarpite Padau hare kshetra padanusarpane Shiro rishikesha padabhivandane Kamam cha dasye natu kama kamyaya Yatot uttama shloka janashrayaratihi. I feel like now the whole environment is simply purified and spiritualized with the entrance of Ambarisha Maharaja. Up until now, story after story, story after story. Okay, that is all FYI story. There is a little bit of something here and there. But now, this is Ambarisha Maharaja. And this is his bhakti. What is Ambarish Maharaj? How is he performing bhakti? With his body. With his body, with his senses, the 5 senses, including the 6th sense, the mind. So this is how Ambarish Maharaj is performing the body. And when we hear this, dear devotees, please see if we are also performing like that. Yeah. Savai manah Krishna padara vindayor. Ambarish Maharaj's mind is always on Krishna pada aravinda, lotus feet of Lord Krishna. Vachamsi Vaikunta Gunanu Varnane. If he is speaking, it is only Krishna Katha. Vaikunta Gunanu Varnane. That is his speech. That is his mind. That is his speech. Karau Harir Mandira Marjanadishu. His hands were busy cleaning the temple. Harir Mandira. Shrutim Chakarachyuta Satkadhodaye. His ears are constantly busy engaged in hearing Katha of Achyuta, Sat Katha of Achyuta. Mukunda Lingalaya Darshane Drushav. Eyes are very busy having darshan of the deities. Tad Britya Gatra Sparshe Anga Sangamam. The skin. Yeah. His is embracing the transcendental bodies of the devotees. Granam chatat pada saroja saurabhe. His nostrils are busy honoring the fragrance that is coming, honoring the fragrance of Srimat Tulasya Rasanam, Tulsi Devi, that is placed at Pada Saroja Saurabhi, on the lotus feet of the Lord. Yeah. And Padau Hare Kshetra Padanu Sarpane, the legs, the feet are busy visiting temple after temple, the pilgrimages. Shiro Rishi Kesha Padabhivandane, the head is busy bowing down to the pada of Rishi Kesha, to the lotus feet of Lord. Kamam Chadase Natu Kama Kamaya. All of his desires are spiritualized. Nothing for his own gratification. Yadottama shloka janashrayaratihi. This is the key. Is that so? This is perfect use of human body, the whole hardware and software. All the gross sensory organs, jnanendriyas, karmendriyas, including the mind, everything perfectly utilized. How is this possible? Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport. This is why it is possible. Yada uttama shloka janashrayaratihi. Same thing, dear devotees. Without having rati, such great attachment to the Lord, this kind of life where the body, the hardware, software, the mind is totally devoted to the Lord with so effortlessly, with such great taste, and that is the life day after day. Where is that strength? Where is that ruchi? Where is that fuel coming from? Yad uttama shloka janashraya ratihi. Uttama shloka jana ashraya. Uttama shloka is the Lord. Jana. Those janas who took the ashraya of the uttama shloka, he had great attachment to them. And Srila Prabhupada describes even in the purport, in the shloka also. He was having great attachment to the devotees like Srila Sri Prahlada Maharaja, and he was walking in those footsteps. Unless one is anchored to such powerhouses of bhakti like these Mahajanas, there is no power supply that can pull us through in bhakti to this extent. So, Srila Prabhupada explains that this is the reason that he had attachment to great devotees like Prahlada Maharaja. In that purport, that's the major part of the purport that Srila Prabhupada describes. And so this is the point here. His supply to the powerhouse is Uttama Shloka Janashraya Rati. And from that powerhouse, he got all the power and he operated in that way. This is what we call again and again, anchoring to the Shabda Brahman of the Shuddha Bhaktas. That's our plug to the powerhouse. Yeah, that's one point. Second point is, so all of this, dear devotees, we also do this, right? This is sadhana bhakti, using the hands, legs for the service, and we are hearing and we are chanting and we are having darshan. We are also doing this, right? What's the difference between his doing and our doing? His doing is because he got plugged to the Uttama Shloka Janashraya so much that he can't wait to do this. He cannot stop himself from doing it. He had such great attachment from within that he cannot stop doing this seva outside. That is raga bhakti. Raga is such attachment, attraction, natural. We are in sadhana bhakti. We also do all this, right? But we should remember that all that we are doing outside is to cultivate that attachment, raga, inside, because we are not in this stage yet, as Ambarish Maharaj. So everything that we do outside, that's an opportunity for us to cultivate attachment to Krishna inside. And where would that come from? Where would that knowledge, that inspiration come from to get attached to Krishna while we are doing seva? Whoever has that great attachment, constantly hearing from them, the Mahajana, Srila Prabhupada, and all these acharyas, and this Bhagavatas, all of them. Look at this, Ambarish Maharaj. If we just think of Ambarish Maharaj, that's a great source plugging in there. So all our sadhana bhakti will be surcharged when we are plugged to these Mahabhagavatas. Yeah. And in light of what Srila Prabhupada has taught us, how we can perform it, doing it under the guidance of Prabhupada and our Gurujana, taking inspiration from these Mahabhagavatas. So that's how our Cheshta Rupa Bhakti should be cultivating our Bhava Rupa Bhakti inside. So action outside with a prayerful, with a prayer inside for the attachment to Krishna, loving attachment to Krishna. Yeah. So that's the Bhakti of Ambarisha. And his citizen, he is a powerhouse. Ambarish Maharaj himself is a powerhouse. He has such bhakti that it flowed so much from him that his citizens, what is their halat? What is their condition? Swargona prartito yasya manujair amara priya shrinvadibhir upagayadbhir uttama shloka cheshtitam. Swarga na pratito yasya manujair. These citizens, swargo na pratito yasya. They are not praying for the swarga. Amara priya. Even for the demigods, they want to go to swarga, right? It is very priya for demigods. Swarga is priya for demigods. But his citizens, Ambarish Maharaj's citizens, are not praying for that. What are they praying for? They are Shrinvadibir, Upagayadibir, Uttama Shloka Cheshtitam. They are very happy, very much satisfied in singing and glorifying the Lord, his qualities and pastimes. They didn't want to go to Swarga. Such is the bhakti of Ambarisha. Not only him, Everybody around him didn't wanted anything but attachment to the Uttama Shloka, Cheshtita. And Ambarisha's bhakti and duty, all his activities as king, yeah, Swadharmena, whatever his dharma is, Harim Prinam, he has done in such a way that it was pleasing Lord Hari. And Sarvan Kamar Shanayir Jahu, he has no other desire for himself but to do his dharma just to please Lord Hari, Samsiddhir Haritoshan. That is not a surprise, right? That's Ambarish Maharaj. And his detachment was so great. This whole sloka is saying how opulent he is, and nothing really bothered him. Ambarish Maharaj's detachment is like that. Griheshu, Dareshu, Suteshu, Bandushu, Dvipottama, Syananda, Vaji, Vastusu. The elephants, horses, chariots, house, palaces, wife, Suteshu, his progeny, Bandushu, relatives, everybody, any objects of this sort, that Vastusu, Ratnabharana, and all the wealth he has, Ananta Kosheshu, his Bandaram, his treasury, all that, Akarod Asanmatim, he cared least about any of these things. Again, Ambarish Maharaj, he was an emperor. The whole Dvipa, the 9 islands were under his rule, and he had least attachment to any of these things. Where is that coming from? He's not really trying hard to get detached from all this. His attachment to the Lord is so much, so big, that this gets detached automatically. This is where our focus is in bhakti. We don't have to struggle hard for the detachment, but put the thought and mind and the effort on attaching to the service, to the lotus feet of Lord Hari, to the Vani, the instruction, and everything else that is not needed gets detached. That's Ambarish Maharaj. And Durvas Muni comes to him once. Durvas Muni is thinking, yes, I am the Brahmana and I'm coming to this. After all, like Kshatriya, I am a Brahmana. Okay. He came to Ambarish Maharaj uninvited, as usual, Durvas Muni with so many disciples. And then Ambarish Maharaj, he said, yes, please, we can go to the Nadi Thiram, yeah, to the river, and please do your Sandhya Vandana and then come back, yeah, and we'll be ready with everything. Durvas Muni went there, and by the time he came back, Durvas Muni realized that Ambarish Maharaj, he was actually fasting. Ambarish Maharaj was doing an Ekadasi Vrata for a year, and did the puja for 3 months, and he was about to break the fast. That's when Durvas Muni came. So while Durvas Muni is gone to the river and to do the bathing and then come back, Ambarish Maharaj had to break the fast because he had to do the Vrata Parana. Again, dear devotees, we generally call it as fast breaking. That's what we call. But fast is something we do intentionally as puja. We don't break it. We just, for the using sake, we use that word fast break, but it's actually Vrata Parana. Ekadasi Vrata. And when we take the grains, that is called Parana time. Yeah. So during that Parana time, when Ambarish Maharaj was about to take the grain, then Durvas Muni came and this happened. Durvas Muni, Ambarish Maharaj said, we'll get everything ready for you. Yes, please come back after the taking bath. During this time, Ambarish Maharaj was thinking, I have to you have to do the parana now. But he was thinking, he talked to his priests around also. They didn't know what to say, because the Vedic culture is that when the guest comes in, we have to honor the guest, and only after they eat, we have to eat. That's the Vedic culture. So in this case, he has to wait for Durvasa Muni and all of them, and and he can break the fast only after he comes back. But Parana has to be done within that period of time. So Amrish Maharaj, he decided to take water, not the grain, but water. Taking water is something like you are doing the parana, but still observing the vrata. It's an in-between thing. So that's why Amrish Maharaj took the water for parana, since he wanted to honor the Ekadasi vrata. Durvas Muni, by the time he comes back, he comes to know with his vision that Amrish Maharaj has done this. He was so furious. He says, I came here, I'm a Brahmana, I came here and you're supposed to feed me and you're disrespecting me. Is this the way you disrespect the guests? That you eat before you feed them? And I am a Brahmana. You're a Kshatriya. So furious. And he took a hair from Durvas Muni, took a hair, and then he called for a fiery demon out of it and asked the fiery demon to kill Amrish Maharaj. Yeah. This is the status of Durvasa Muni, very agitated, shaking up, walking around, and then angry, furious, and then created this demon and wanted to kill Amrish Maharaj. What did Amrish Maharaj do? Amrish Maharaj did not move a bit. When the fiery demon looked at him, wanting to kill him, Amrish Maharaj did not move a bit. As he was absorbed in the thoughts of the Lord, even looking at the fiery demon too, he was still absorbed in the thoughts of the Lord. He's just seeing Lord everywhere. And he thought, if this is what the Lord's arrangement is, so be it. Whatever the Lord's desire is. Did not move a bit. And there is very least agitation. No agitation at all. And there comes the Sudarshan Chakra. For a devotee that is so dependent, Rakshisyati iti vishvaso goptrutve varnam tada. And here comes the Sudarshan Chakra. Sudarshan Chakra has been protecting the entire kingdom of Ambarish Maharaj. Because he was so much absorbed in serving the Lord has to take the responsibility of Ambarish Maharaj and rule his kingdom and protect his kingdom. So Sudarshan Chakra took the responsibility to protect the kingdom and the king Ambarisha. So now Sudarshan Chakra is attacking Durvasa Muni. How dare you do this to Ambarisha Maharaj? Durvasa Muni. Oh, first of all, Sudarshan Chakra burned this fiery demon to ashes. Bhagavatam says, as a forest fire burns a snake. That's how it burns the fiery demon. And Sudarshan Chakra is chasing Durvasa Muni. It's almost touching his back. Sudarshan Chakra is the heat. It's like radiation coming out. So much of heat. Durvasa Muni is unable to tolerate that heat. And he's running around. He goes to Brahma. He goes, actually, Bhagavatam says, he goes to all the Brahmanda. He tries to hide in the caves, goes behind the mountains, everywhere, but Sudarshan Chakra would not leave him. So he goes to Brahmaloka. And Brahma says, I am so sorry. I am myself dependent on the Lord Vishnu. So I cannot do anything about it. So sorry about that. And he goes, Durvasa Muni goes to Lord Shiva. He says the same thing. Brahma and I, we are dependents on Lord Vishnu. What can we do about Sudarshan Chakra? You have to go ask Lord Vishnu. Yeah. And then Durvasa Muni comes to Vaikuntha. Yes, dear devotees. Vaikuntha is, there is no kunta, no misery. Here comes Durvasa with so much misery and fear. Why like that? Because he has offended the dear devotee of the Lord. Yeah. So now Durvasmuni came to Vaikunta and he falls at the feet and he says, "Oh Lord Vishnu, please save from this Sudarshan Chakra. You are the controller of everything." Yeah. And I went to Brahma and Shiva and they said they are dependent on you. And if you could please withdraw this Sudarshan Chakra, I am bowing down to you. Please save me from this Sudarshan Chakra. And the Lord says, well, you might have heard that they are dependent on me, but the Brahma and Shiva are dependent on me. But I am not independent. I am dependent on my devotees. Brahma and Shiva said, oh, we are dependent on the Lord and Lord is independent. And here is the Lord who is considered independent. He is saying, Aswatantra, I have no independence. Aham bhakta paradhino. I am in the adhina of my bhakta. Yeah. O Dvija, O Brahmana. Aham bhakta paradhino hi aswatantra iva Dvija. I don't have swatantra. And I am in the adhina of bhakta. Sadhubir krashta hridayo. Bhaktai bhakta janapriyaha. Sadhubir grashta hridayo. These sadhus, they have bound me so much that they have bound me so much with love that I am not only dependent on these sadhus, bhaktas, the pure devotees, but bhakta jana priyaha, even their devotees also, their disciples also. The Lord is saying, I am aswatantra. Don't think that I am independent. I'm completely dependent. Completely dependent on this sadhu, bhaktas, not only them, but the bhakta jana priyaha. All those devotees who are priya to that, pure devotees also. And then he says, Naham atmanam ashase mad bhaktair sadhubir vina shriyam cha atyantikim brahman yesham gatir aham para. One verse of Bhagavan is like one love letter for a pure devotee. Here he said, I am not independent. I'm aswatantra and I'm bound in their heart. And here he says, the Lord says, Naham atmanam ashase. I don't want any atmanam ashase, relishment. Mat bhaktair sadhubir vina, without my devotees who are sadhus. I don't want to enjoy anything. I don't want to relish anything without them. The Lord is saying this. Shriyam cha atyantikim Brahman. Oh Brahman, Durvasmuni. Shriyam cha atyantikim. I have these 6 opulences. Yesham gatir aham paraha. Those bhaktas, I am aham gatir. I am the destination. I am the goal for them. So I am not going to relish anything without my bhaktas who are sadhus. This is the love and compassion the Lord has for the devotees. Lord is unlimited. His love and compassion is so unlimited that he wants everybody, all of us to come to his spiritual realm and be part of his pastimes there. And that's why he's sending all the Shastra, the sadhus, and again sending these love letters. Saying, I am waiting for you. I can't relish without you. You please come over. I am your destination. I know that. And that's why I'm waiting for you. Please come over. Yeah. And his Lord is for us to see if Lord is really watching what we are trying to do? Here is the answer. E daragara putrapta pranan vittam imam param hitva mam sharanam yataha kadam tam staktum utsahe. Oh, Lord is saying this to Durvasa Muni. Non-stop, he's saying this to Durvasa Muni. Oh Brahman, okay, my devotees, ye daragara putrapta, wife, children, houses, pranan, even their life, vittam, their wealth, imam, param, not caring for the heavenly enjoyment also. Hitva, they gave up. They gave up all these things. And mam sharanam yataha. They are coming to my sharanam. Kadam tam styaktum utsahe. How do you think I can give them up? O Brahman, Durvasa Muni, do you get it? And then the Lord says, Mayi nirbaddha hridayaha sadava samadarshanaha vashe kurvanti mam bhaktya sat sriya satpatim yatha. These are the words of the Lord. Lord is saying, as a chaste wife serves her husband, Mayi nirbaddha hridayaha sadava samadarshanaha. My devotees, as a chaste wife is so attached to her husband and serving, my devotees are so much attached to me, who is residing in their core of their heart, and they have samadarshanaha, equal vision. What is their vision? They would see whoever they are attached to in their core of their heart. So wherever these bhaktas are seeing, Yomam pashyati sarvatra sarvam cha mayi pashyati. Not just that. This intensity of love of the Lord and love of the devotees is premanjana churita bhakti vilochanena shanta sadaiva hridayeshu vilokayanti yam shama sundaram achintya gunaswarupam govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. So the Lord is saying, they are so much attached to me, who is present in the me that is present in the core of my heart, and they have equal vision, and vashe kurvanti mam bhaktya. They do the devotional service with that great attachment to me, as a chaste woman does that to her husband. And oh Durvasa, oh Brahman, do you know about my devotees? Not only they're so much attached to me, who is present in the core of my heart, not only that they gave up daragara putrapta pranan vittam imam param hitva, but they also are least inclined to liberation. Matsevaya pratitamte salokyadi chatushtayam na ichanti sevaya purnaha kuto anyat kala viplutam. Matsevaya pratitamte, just by serving me, they can get salokyadi chatushtayam, the 4 kinds. Apart from Saijamukti is not mentioned here because that is not the Vaishnava thing. So the 4 kinds of liberations, they can get that automatically by serving them. But na ichanti, they don't have that icha. They don't have the desires of getting these 4 kinds of liberation. Why? Sevaya purnaha. They're so satisfied in their loving devotional service to me. They don't care about liberation. What to speak of kuto anyat kala viplutam, desiring something else that is perished over a period of time. They're not even desiring liberation. Finally, he says, Sadavo hrudayam mahyam sadhunam hrudayam tvaham madanyatte na janati naham tebhyo managapi. Oh Durvasa, listen. Sadavo hrudayam mahyam. In my heart are sitting these sadhus. Sadhunam hridayam tu aham. In the heart of those sadhus, I am sitting there. Madanyatte na janapi. They do not know anything but me. Naham tebhyo managapi. I do not know anything but them. That's the flow of love of the Lord to the devotees. And if we ever think our attempts, our efforts is one-sided, dear devotees, we hear from the Lord here. How much is the love that is flowing from him? Non-stop, one after the other, one after the other. Hey, Brahman, did you hear that? Oh, Brahmana, Durvasamani, did you hear that? At last he says, I am sitting in their heart, they are sitting in my heart. I don't know nothing but them. They don't know nothing but me. Are you still wanting me to forgive you? In other words, you have heard Ambarish Maharaj there. Ambarish Maharaj is sitting in my heart, so you actually have hurt me. That's what the Lord is saying. And then Durvasaman could be thinking, oh Lord, well, I see all that you have this love for all these pure devotees, but you know, I'm Brahmana. You're all Namo Brahmana Devaya Go Brahmana Hitaicha, right? So you like Brahmanas too, right? The Brahmanas, I'm a Brahmana, I am a very austere, potent Brahmana. Yeah, I have Vidya and I have Tapas. He might be thinking like that, Durvasmani. So the Lord said, after he said, I am sitting in the hearts of my devotees and my devotees are sitting in me. And the Lord, to clear Durvasmani's any thoughts and confusion, he says, Tapo vidyacha vipranam, o brahmana, tapo vidyacha vipranam, nihishreyasa kare ubhe, te eva durvinitasya, kalpeta karturanyatha. The tapas you have, the vidya you have, the jnana you have, O vipranam, O brahmana, nihishreyas kare ubhe, te eva durvinitasya. Those are the tapas and vidyas. They uplift the brahmanas. They're auspicious to brahmanas. But te eva durvinitasya. If somebody does durvinita, abuses that, like as you did, kalpete karturanyada, the opposite thing happens. Karturanyada, opposite thing happens. Inauspiciousness will come upon you. Though you have tapo and vidya, if you are abusing that, instead of auspiciousness, inauspiciousness will come upon you. Clear to Durvasmani by this time. The position of Ambarish Maharaj, who is sitting in the heart of the Lord, and his position as a Vipra who has abused his power. Then Lord says, well, I can't do anything about it. You have to go beg my devotee. And then Durvasmani goes and falls at the feet of Ambarish Maharaj. And Ambarish Maharaj feels so ashamed and guilt that a Brahmana is falling at his feet. He's after all a Kshatriya. First of all, he's a pure devotee. There must be so much humility. He did not move from where he was, since Durvas has been being chased by Sudarshana. For 1 year, the chasing has happened. By the time he went all to Brahmaloka, Shivaloka, and then to Vaikuntha, and then came back, 1 year passed by. Ambarish Maharaj did not move a bit. He did not eat anything. He was just standing there. He was feeling so bad. A Brahmana came and I could not feed him, and he had to run for his life. Oh my, what can I do about this? I wish I could do something for this Brahmana. And as he was thinking like that, this Brahmana, Durvasa Muni, comes and falls on his feet. And Ambarish Maharaj, he doesn't know what else to do. He was so embarrassed. And then Ambarish Maharaj, he prays to Sudarshan Chakra. Wonderful prayers of about Sudarshan Chakra. How Sudarshan Chakra is actually Sudarshana is the seer of all this Brahmanda. Like that, wonderful prayers he offers, and then says, "Oh Sudarshan Chakra, please, if at all I have done some piety, if at all our lineage, our dynasty has done some piety, and if at all we have pleased the Lord a bit, even a bit, we want to give all that piety in return to the life of this Brahmana. So please save this Brahmana. Please be merciful on the Brahmana. All that we have accumulated, all the punya we have accumulated, we want to let that go. But this Brahmana should be saved." This is Ambarish Maharaj. Like Haridas Thakura. He was being whipped through the marketplaces. Chaitanya Bhagavata explains, Haridas Thakura, while he was bleeding, the flesh is falling off, he was looking at these people who was whipping him with eyes filled with so much of karuna. He's thinking, oh, these souls, they are suffering because they do not have attachment to the Lord. This is what Haridas Thakura was thinking, and he was looking that eyes filled with karuna. That is Haridas Thakura. Even though he was being killed, he was having such mercy upon those killers. Here is Ambarish Maharaj. Durvasa Muni is attempted to kill him. But now Ambarish Maharaj like, I let go any punya that I have had, but his life should be saved. Paradukha Dukhi. Yeah, Ambarish Maharaj. So in this way, Sudarshan Chakra is pleased and Durvasa Muni is rescued with the prayers of Ambarish Maharaj. And then Durvasa Muni says these 3 shlokas, and that would be the end of our session. Durvasa Muni is so pleased. Durvasa says, Aho anantadasanam mahatvam drishtam adyame kritagaso api yadrajan mangalani samihase. Oh, Aho anantadasana. Oh, you are the dasa of the Ananta, Supreme Personality of Godhead. I am seeing your mahatvam today, your glories. Drishtam adyame. I am seeing the glory of the devotee of the Lord. Kritagaso apiyadrajan. I intended to hurt you. But what are you doing? Mangalani samihase. You are trying to bring auspiciousness to me. You are trying to save me. Dushkara konu sadhunam dustacho va mahatmanam yai sangrihito Bhagavan satvatam rishabho hari. Dushkara, what is it that is impossible for a sadhu? Dushtajyo, what is it? What is it that cannot be done, and what is it that is not possible for a sadhu, for a Mahatma? Sangrihoti Bhagavan, who has taken shelter of the Bhagavan. Satvatam Rishabho Hari. What is it that is not possible for a devotee who has taken shelter of Lord Hari? Even Yannama Shruti Matrena Puman Bhavati Nirmala Tasya Tirtha Pada Kimva Dasanam Avashishyate. Just by reciting the Nama of the Lord, Yannama Shruti Matrena Puman Bhavati Nirmala. Puman, the people, they become Nirmala, cleansed. And what to speak If the Nama can do that, tasya tirtha pada kimva dasanam avasishyate. What can this magnanimous pure devotees can do? So in this way, Durvasa Muni, he was glorifying the pure devotees, the potency of the Nama, and the potency of the pure devotees, looking at Ambarish Maharaj. So that's the glory of Ambarish Maharaj. Ambarish Maharaj. Yeah. So that's for today's session, dear devotees. Okay. So we'll quickly summarize the take-home points. The summarizing can really solidify us. It gives us a feeling of packing everything. Okay. This is 9th Canto, Ishanu Katha, Sun Dynasty, Moon Dynasty. In Sun Dynasty, Vaivashvata Manu, the first son was Sudyumna, but we heard the story. Sudyumna becomes Ila, all that story. From that, Pururava, yeah, Ila with Buddha begets Pururava. Pururava is the start of Moon Dynasty. Okay, that's about Sudyumna. And then Vaivashvat Manu again prays for next for more sons, so he gets the other 10 sons. Ikshvaku and the 9 of them. For each one of them, we have heard a little bit, right? But nice things are about that king Pradishta. He's supposed to become Sudra in the next life, but his destiny was changed by Bhakti Yoga, right? Let's honor his word one time before we go to the next chapter. Who is that great king who made it to spiritual world directly, skipped a birth, end of that birth? Yeah, Prashadra, right? That's Prashadra. And we heard about Kavi and the rest of them. Sharyati, his daughter is Sukanya. So Sukanya and Chavanamuni, the story we have heard. And there, the chastity of Sukanya. And one word that we recalled is in the scriptures, chastity is very well applied for a disciple towards the spiritual master. That can be a cause of great strength. Kapila Muni also says that, right? That attachment which is there for the material world, if that attachment is placed on sadhu, then Dvara Mahur Vimukte, doors of the liberation open. So that attachment and chastity to Guru is on a different plane that we have heard. And next is Nabhaga. Nabhaga, son is Nabhaga. We have heard how innocent and simple he was. And Lord Shiva gave him the riches and Vedic knowledge. And his son is Ambarisha Maharaj. Ambarish Maharaj, we have heard about his bhakti. And there we have heard that he was plugged to this powerhouse of Yaduttama Shloka Janashraya Ratihi. Yeah. And there, the application part for us was, for him it was Raga Bhakti, because he had so much attachment, he did the seva outside. For us, we do the seva to pray for the attachment inside. In either case, the seva goes on, right? In the sadhana bhakti, it is a prayerful attachment. It's a prayerful attempt for the attachment to the Lord inside. In Raga Bhakti, it's an outpouring of love to the Lord outside. We have heard that. Mahajanai Nakatasabata. And then the interaction. Durvasa Muni, how he behaved, and Ambarish Maharaj. Durvasa Muni was so self-centered. I am a Brahmana and I have these mystic powers. He's after all like Kshatriya. And I am here as a guest, and I am hungry, and he is supposed to respect me, and he is supposed to not break the fast. not break the fast. He took water only, right? It's not even equal to breaking the fast or doing the Vrata Parana. Actually, Lord Narayana says, when the Durvasa Muni goes there to Lord Narayana, he says, it is me who has inspired Ambarisha to take that water. Durvasa Muni, he hears that from the Lord. I am sitting in his heart as Paramatma, and it's with my inspiration he took that. Who else would he go and talk to now, Durvasa Muni? Anyway, so Durvasa Muni was like that, so self-centered and inflated and so agitated. Physically, he was agitated, moving here and there, and he was so furious that the fiery demon had to come down. This is a sage, Muni, who did the tapasya and who has siddhis, yet so much of agitation and anger. And here is Ambarisha Maharaj is thinking, I'm after all a Kshatriya. Oh yes, I'm the host. I'm supposed to receive him. Yeah. And Abhaya Ashoka, fearless, fiery demon. Even when he was coming towards Ambarisha, he did not move a bit. He was just looking. He was just seeing Paramatma everywhere, even in the fiery demon too. And he said, okay, if this is the will of the Lord, so be it. Least agitated. That is pure devotee. And here is the agitated person. Yeah. And the whole 1 year passed, Durvasa Muni, he went to Brahma Shiva. And what did the Lord say? We'll relish these words. First thing the Lord said is, yes, they said they are dependent on me, but I am not independent. I am dependent on my devotees. That's how the Lord has started. Yeah. We'll just go through this beautiful, affectionate, loving words of the Lord. That's the first thing the Lord said. Aswatantra. Yeah. I am Aswatantra. Yes, here it is. I am Aswatantra. Aham Bhakta Paradino. I am in the Adhinam of Bhakta. Aswatantra. I am not independent. I am dependent on my devotees. Next, I do not want to relish anything without the company of my devotees. I am their goal and destiny. How can I give them up at all? I'm waiting for them. I want to wait for them. And there we have heard how the Lord is so infinite and his love is so infinite. So he wants all of us to be in the part of his Leela. And that's why he's working hard 24/7 through the Shastra, through the sadhus, through the bhakti, through the services, through the devotees. And now telling us directly in Srimad Bhagavatam, through Ambarisha Katha, this is how much I love you and want you back to the spiritual realm. And then he's appreciating what all the devotees do. He's saying, the devotees, they leave everything behind. Dara, Garaputrapta Pranan Vittam Imam Param, everything hitva. How can I leave them? And yeah, they are so much attached to me, who is sitting in the core of their heart, and they have a equal vision. They see their equal vision is they see their Lord everywhere. And they bind me with their loving devotional service, as a chaste wife binds her husband with her service. And these devotees, not only they give up everything, they want my shelter, and they are so much attached to me, who is sitting in the core of my heart. Not only they are giving up what they have, but they don't even want the muktis, the 4 kind of muktis, even though they can get it by default by doing seva to me. They don't want muktis too. Nadanam na janam na sundarim kavitam va jagadisha kamaye mama janmani janmanishware bhavatad bhakti ahai tukitvayi. My devotees are after me like this. They are behind me. Mat bhavatad bhakti. Only your loving devotional service, my Lord. They are wanting me so much. How can I leave them? They don't want any of these muktis too. Finally, sadhavo hridayam mahyam. In my heart are my devotees. And in my devotees' heart, me sitting there. They don't know anything but me. I don't know anything but them. Is it clear, Durvasa? And finally, he says, the tapas, the vidya, everything that a Vipra has can be auspicious to him, but if they're abused, then opposite result, inauspiciousness comes upon them. After saying that, then Durvasmuni comes and begs forgiveness to Ambarish Maharaj, and then says these 3 shlokas where he glorifies the devotee and the holy name too. Yes, dear devotees. Good. Maharaj Ambarish ki jai. Sudarshan Chakra ki jai. The Lord in the heart ki jai. Thank you all, dear devotees. This is one katha which is so relishable in the entire 9th canto actually. The rest of them, they are good too, but not so many letters from the Lord in one place. Yes, please, if there is anything.